Um, Hi everyone. I am not there today. Wow, crazy. I know. Sorry. I really didn't want to have to miss today, but I do not feel well. So, if you were gone on the field trip yesterday, um, I went over how to do problems 13, 14, 15, and 16 on the homework. 15 and 16 are pretty quick once you know how to do 13 and 14. But I want to show you how to do them because they are a little tricky. So let's start with 13 right here. We need to find the length of NK. Where's my highlighter? There we go. NK is right here. If you notice, though, NK is a part of. I know it's like there's a whole lot of stuff going on in here, but really, NK is a piece of this right triangle. So, call the length of NK X, and then you have your Pythagorean theorem. Go figure. Right triangles, we're probably going to do something with Pythagorean theorem. Not always, but a lot of the time we can. 9 is a leg, and 15 is your hypotenuse. So that means you have 9 squared plus x squared is equal to 15 squared, and you can solve for that. Also, just so you know, this is a Pythagorean triple. Hey, they keep on coming up. I wonder if they're important. X is 12, right? It's a 9, 12, 15 right triangle. Also, if you were to solve this Pythagorean theorem equation, you would also get x squared equals 144, and that means that x is 12. Whichever way you do it, that's fine, but you have to actually know that that's a Pythagorean triple. So there's your length of NK. So actually say like NK is equal to 12. Please don't just like say x equals 12 and move on. I didn't ask for x. I wanted to know what NK was. Now for 14, I got to zoom out a bit. 14 is a little bit trickier because we need the measure of arc MK. Now that would be, that's an eraser. That would be this guy right here. That's this arc right there. But that means that we can actually go inside. Let me get rid of this X real quick. We can go inside to find the measure of this central angle. Because remember, if you've got like a circle and it's got a central angle, this arc on the outside is the same as the measure of the inside central angle. That's one of the first things we learned with circles. So that means if we can figure out how big this angle is, we can call it whatever we want. We could call it y if we wanted to. Or theta. That's the guy I just wrote. That's theta. It's just another variable. It's another letter. It's a Greek letter. I'm going to use this angle y in conjunction with the 9 and the 15. This is SOHCAHTOA. You've got a right triangle. This is trigonometry again. It didn't go anywhere. Haha, gotcha. So this 9 is your adjacent side to your angle, and this 15 is your hypotenuse, which means that over here, adjacent and hypotenuse, that's cosine of your angle is equal to 9 over 15. Well, that means your angle is the cosine inverse of 9 over 15, which means your angle is, I want to say that is 53. I don't remember off the top of my head. Let me use my calculator real quick. I'm using my phone calculator. I'll be completely honest with you guys. I don't think my phone calculator has inverse trig functions. I think it's 53.1. Hang on. Yeah. It should be 53.1 degrees. But again, that's not what I asked for. I didn't ask for the central angle. I can use the central angle to say, hey, the measure of arc MK is 53.1 degrees. Okay, right? You should say what the actual final answer is. So you can't just say, hey, this y variable that you didn't ask for, that's 53.1 degrees. I'm going to go, okay, cool, great. But what about the thing I asked for? What about the measure of arc MK? And that's why you have to label your answer and box it genuinely. The boxing it, the circling it, some of you guys put clouds around it. That's totally fine. It makes it easier for me to see. It makes it a lot faster. I do appreciate it when you do that. Now, as far as 15 and 16, well, 15 is asking for the whole length of JK. Well, if NK is 12, that means JK is just 2 times 12, right? Because this is perpendicular, it does cut it into 2 equal pieces. There you go. They're equal to each other, so that means it's 24. You're done. full stop. Again, circle your answer, make it easy for me to see. That one's not too bad. 16 requires a little bit more work, but now that we know that MK is 53.1 degrees, if we want JPK, that's this outside bit over here, we have to figure out how big this guy over here is, which is also 53.1 degrees. Again, that's because your radius, right here, is perpendicular to your chord. Because your radius is perpendicular, that means it's cutting your chords in half, and it's also cutting your arcs in half. Ouch. Sorry, hold on. And since they are the same, we know how big this whole JK is. JK is, let's see, the measure of arc JK is, hold on, 53.1 times 2 is 106.2 degrees. Now, if we wanted the other part of the circle, the part of the circle that we're not talking about, we're going to do 360 minus that 106.2. Again, I'm going to use my calculator here. I'm not going to be able to do that in my head right now. It's not, whoa, I accidentally typed 406. That's way too big. 360 minus 106.2 is 253.8, I believe. Right? So the measure of JPK, arc JPK, is 253.8 degrees. There you go. Circle your answer. And that's really it. That's how you do those last 4 problems. They're a little tricky, especially because they're asking you to do stuff from Chapter 8 that we haven't talked about in like maybe 3 weeks now. So, but they don't go anywhere, right? And that's kind of like the big important lesson, right? If I teach you something, you're probably going to see it again next year and the year after that, and every single math class you're doing afterward. At some point, it will show up again. And that's why it's important to like go back and do these types of things again, because it's been a minute since we've done them. So, as a reminder, you do have a quiz tomorrow. That's tomorrow, Thursday, May 1st. You do have a quiz. I will be there, unless I don't know. I'm going to be there. If I feel sick again, I'm just going to show up anyway. So be ready for that. You can use your notes. You can use your homework. I'm going to try and grade all of your homework that you're turning in early. Like some of you turned in your homework early, I'm going to get that back to you tomorrow when I'm there. I'll give it to you before the quiz. So yeah, that's all I've got. If you do have questions, you can always email me and ask. You can always come to me before school as well. I know that it's not really convenient for me to be gone today, but I needed a day to genuinely just get like an extra hour of sleep. I already feel better than I did yesterday. So hopefully that's a good thing. So I will see you all tomorrow. I hope you have a very good day. If you got questions, let me know. Bye-bye.